play 10 to 15 minutes per game. Tonight they may have played a little more because they played well, including Jake White, Fred Van Vliet, and Ron Baker, a guy who's missed the last 21 games.
We'll open the floor to questions for Demetric Williams, Carl Hall, and Jake White. Please raise your hand and we'll get you to it. On the left here, second row.
Paul Sallentrop, Wichita Eagle. Hey, Demetric, kind of address the bounce back effort, getting the defensive identity back. How'd you rate tonight from that standpoint?
Demetric, why don't you start?
It was good. We held them to 59, and we didn't want them to get over 60. So I think it was a good team effort.
Next question on the right side, please.
Chris for IKTV, Wichita. Carl and Jake, it seemed like you guys had your way with the Missouri State, what front court they had. Just talk about how you guys were able to dominate together really on the rebounding effort.
Carl, why don't you start first, please?
Okay. I was just trying to tell Jake to just go for every rebound because we knew the balls was bouncing long. So I was trying not to get too deep. I was trying to get like halfway between the free throw line and the goal because I knew they was going long, and I was just chasing them down. And
Jake, your thoughts?
I got to give Carl a lot of credit because he goes to the glass every single time, and so normally he brings 2-3 people with him just to try and box him out, and so that leaves the weak side open a lot, and so I just capitalized on that.
Other questions? Second row on the left, please.
Carl, why'd you know they were going long? Is it the rims or rebounds going long?
I guess because the rims are soft, so everything was bouncing along. It was doing that in pregame too. I noticed that, so just tried to take advantage.
Other questions on the left, towards the rear.
Can you guys just talk about Ron Baker's return back, what it was like playing with him again?
Demetric, why don't you start?
Tremendous. We missed his three-point shooting, and he showed it tonight. A lot of the guys in the locker room said he's back. So, he did a great job, helped us out, spark off the bench.
Jake, why don't you take the next?
Yeah, I thought he played, tremendous tonight, and it's great having, one of our leaders back. He did start a majority of our games, and yeah, it's great to have Ron back.
Carl, anything to add?
It helps when you got more shooters, especially when you get double teamed a lot on the block. So I'm just glad to have him back.
Question up front row on the left.
Lyndall Scranton, Springfield News Leader. Demetric, did you think maybe you could wear them down as the game progressed because they had to play a tough game last night?
Most definitely. They don't play a lot of guys like how we play, so want to wear them down, make it hard for them on the offensive end. And a lot of guys came in and we did that and made it hard for them. And they also give credit to them because they was making some tough shots, but for the most part, we did what we wanted to do on the defensive end.
Second row on the left, please.
Paul Sallentrop, Wichita Eagle. Jake, take us through that play where you grabbed Ron's miss and tossed it back in, the shot clock deal.
Ron had the ball, and I just noticed that the shot clock was winding down, so he would have to, chuck up a shot. And so I just fought for position early, and ended up getting the ball, and Mal crashed, and I was able to find him for the layup.
Could you tell it hit the rim?
Yeah, I did.
Any other questions? Hands up, front row again on the left.
Demetric, could you talk about Marcus Marshall a little bit for a young player? What stands out to you about him?
He's a great jump shooter. He looks for a shot. They do a good job of giving him the ball and screening for him, and he's just very aggressive, and it works for him.
Next question, center row on the right.
Coach, moving on, your thoughts on both ISU and Northern Iowa?
If we have any other questions for the student athletes before we get to Coach Marshall. One more question for the student athletes here on the left, second row.
Hey, Jake, is that offensive rebounding kind of contagious? You have a little success and then you just start going to the boards harder and harder, kind of built on itself maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I could say it's a rhythm thing, but it's also, you just have to, be willing to go to the rim every single time and, not take a play off.
Gentlemen, thank you. Congratulations on the win.
Get a good shot on this one. Get those guys out there. We'll have a quick turnaround. Good job, Jake.
Questions for Coach Marshall? Again, second row here on the left.
Bruce Ertl, KWCH TV. How much better did you guys get as a basketball team tonight, Greg?
I'm not sure we got better as a basketball team at this stage of the game. We're deeper because we added Ron Baker back to the fold. I mean, he's missed 21 games, and he was a big key for us tonight. He drained 3 jump shots in the second half, I think. He got a couple of easy shots for us by moving in motion. He's one of our better defenders. So it's interesting, lately, just the national media who weren't, and Bob and I discussed this earlier, no one really had seen him, and they weren't used to him. So basically they've been saying that we've been fully healthy now since we got Carl back, and we still have our starting 2 guard and our starting small forward on the sidelines. We haven't been healthy since the 8th game of the season, and I think now people see what Ron Baker's capable of doing. He's a really good player, and he does everything fairly well, if not really good.
Far side on the right.
Chris Fry, KTV. Coach, talk about the play of Carl and Jake. I mean, it just seemed like they had their way on the offensive and defensive glass.
They really did. Carl was just the Carl that we've grown to know and love. He was a beast around the rim and getting every conceivable second chance opportunity. And Jake White was very good tonight, active. And the reason I talked about it being a team effort is because Jake White picks up Clee Anthony Early, who wasn't playing particularly well. Fred Van Vliet picks up Malcolm Armstead, who didn't have his best game. And Ron Baker picks up Demetric Williams, who didn't have his best game. But those guys can now bounce back, and we're going to play 9, 10, 11 guys tomorrow and hopefully into Sunday. And I think if we get that far, it'll pay off.
Next question on the left.
Greg, Bob Lutz, Wichita Eagle. The green light, when did you get it for Baker, and you didn't seem at all hesitant to go to him tonight?
No, he's practiced. It's amazing. He's missed. He played in the Tennessee game, and I think that was when he shut him down. So whenever that was, I think we were 15-1 or something like that. No, he played 9-1. 9-1. That was the last game he played. So 21 games. How many weeks is that? And it got to the point where 3 or 4 days ago, he was allowed to practice half court. After 8 weeks, he's allowed to go half court. And then the very next day, he's allowed to go full court. And I'm not a doctor. I love Todd Fagan, our trainer. He's one of the best in the business. But I don't understand what the 24 hours, what difference that makes to be able to go half court one day and 24 hours later you can go full court. And then if you do fine on the full court deal, you can play. So that was about 3 days ago. That's when we got the green light. There was no problems with the half court, then the full court. And it was key that we were getting him in and then getting him back out, because obviously his wind does not make him kick. But that's why we have great depth, and it pays the benefit of having Demetric Williams, who's had a nice year for us, sitting there to spell him.
Any other questions? Again, on the left, second row.
Paul Sallentrop, Wichita Eagle. I guess Ron's passing really stood out to me. Does he really help the team in that way?
He's a good basketball player. I mentioned he can pass it. He's one of our better defenders. He can obviously shoot it. I thought twice tonight he could have gotten the old shot fake. We don't ever seem to get that call, the old shot fake, and the guy runs into him. In the first half he got it, but they said it was on the ground in front of Missouri State's bench. And then in the second half he did it, no call. I'm not saying it was a foul, but he did it again, and that was the play that you're mentioning, which was the last straw where it hit the Malcolm and Jake made the great play as it hit the bottom of the backboard, the flange, if you will, and we were able to lay it in.
Again, another question on the left. We're going to pass on that one. Any other questions for Coach? Last chance, last call. Congratulations.
Thank you
Good
very
luck
much.
tomorrow. Thank you.
See you.